Hey guys, Steven here with ProTech. Today we're going to do a firearms engineering EDC pocket dump. I'm also more than just a firearms engineer. I'm also an instructor and I'm a competitive shooter. Not mainstream by any means, and I've only done a little bit of competing, but I plan to do a lot more as time progresses, as long as this great country that we live in here in America continues to exist. So anyways, without further ado, I'm going to dump all my crap here on the table that I normally carry and enjoy your laughter and your jabs as I do that and as I sip on my Sprite. And then I'm going to put it back and I'm going to talk about each piece by piece. And maybe there's something that I carry on my person that you will eventually carry on your person. Here we go. Cell phone, tactical pen, Sharpie, multi-tool, palm pepper spray, two small Bic lighters, chapstick, spare set of earplugs, little baby Kershaw knife, about 7 feet of paracord and a quick release weave. Ridge wallet, awesome product. Tactical light. Keys, more keys. 1 second. Multi-purpose light. It was on charge. Left glove, right glove. H-mag. Spare magazine pouch, horizontally carried. Micro with my sidearm. K-bar TDI in our small knife sheath. Core essentials. Belt, EDC carry belt, and a tourniquet. Voila! There's all of my stuff. I wonder how much it weighs. Let's find out. Here we're at 2 pounds, 3.2 ounces. 3 pounds, 9 ounces. 3 pounds, 16 ounces. Cell phone. Okay, there we're over 5 pounds. Let's see, 4 pounds, 8 ounces. Gloves. Okay, the gloves did it. So there's 4 pounds, 12 ounces. We're going to have to math. Oh my goodness. 4 pounds, 12 ounces. There's another 8. 18. So 5 pounds, 14 ounces. Probably isn't going to work. I'll just dump the box out. 5 pounds, 18 ounces, plus 8 ounces. No, 5 pounds, 14 ounces, plus 8 ounces. There's 6 pounds, 4 ounce. No, 6 pounds, 6 ounces. So, call it 6.5 pounds. Isn't that nice? Okay. But I don't feel it because, well, I carry it every day, but it's distributed across these awesome tactical pants that I'm also going to talk about in this video. So I'm going to slide this way just a scotch so you can see my pants. Now, first piece of gear, you got to have your belt. Just like in the Bible, you know, the armor of God, part of the armor of God is the belt of truth. And when looking at a Roman soldier, for example, Roman soldiers, they were the Navy SEALs of the day. And the belt was very important. So their belt held up their sword and all their other gear and held their pants up. Well, they didn't really wear pants. I guess they wore something kind of like maybe like a kilt, like an armored kilt maybe. I'm not up on my terminology. But hang on one second. Over on our conference table, we have this. And this talks about putting on the full armor of God, and it's representative of the soldier of the day, which was the Roman soldier. And here is the belt of truth. Okay, and you see it's holding up his sword. His sword's actually on a shoulder strap, a single point sling, as we would call it. Because now our modern day swords are carbines, right? But his belt is holding at least his skirt up, and then whatever this thing is here. And it may be assisting in cinching up his armor plating there, but here he's also got his shield and whatnot, and his helmet and his breastplate of righteousness, and his feet are shod with the readiness of the gospel of peace, and this little thing also talks about the armor of God on it. Pretty cool piece, and we have it on our conference table. So if you ever make it out this way to sit down and meet with me or someone else on the team, or you come for some training, a training workshop, you'll be sitting at that conference table at least for a little bit to fill out some paperwork. And you'll see this, hopefully, sitting on the table, unless Maddie or Max hauled it off to use it for something. Okay, which I'm trying to teach them to put things back, which is an effort that all of us parents try to do. So, without further ado, my belt. So, as I put my belt on, I thread my tourniquet in there. We're testing, well, actually, way overdue on testing. This is a horizontal tourniquet holder that we're getting ready to release. I'll talk about that more in the actual video. I've got a bunch of pre-recorded videos that I just haven't edited yet because business has been a bit crazy. But today was like one of those days where it's just like, I'm going to make a video on one of the topics that has been requested multitudinous times of me, and this is it. So, there's my tourniquet holder. I typically wear it on the front side of my body so I can access it with either hand. Very quick release. Like I say, I'll make a video of that another day. This is our H-Mag, which is a horizontal magazine pouch. I wear it on the other side of the front side of my body to get those in position. And then my gun. Gun's really important. Now there are certain things, there are certain parts of your gear. I have two categories for gear. Oh, two basic categories. One category being, I want it to stay on my body. And the other category of, it's okay if it doesn't stay on my body in case I tumble or get in a tussle or what have you. I'm okay if one of my lighters falls out of my pocket, or if my multi-tool falls off my pocket. You know, when I go, if I ever have to put my hands on somebody, I'm okay with that. I don't want it to happen, but I'm okay with it. And I need it to be easy access, so I clip it on my pocket, and it's a risk I take. But something like a gun, I want that to stay in the holster. So I've got my retention adjusted down on my holster, and we mold our Kydex 100 very tight to the gun, so it's a nice custom fit. You get a nice positive click into place, and it's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to flop out of the holster, which is what you want. And it has to be drawn at the right angle, or you can't get it out. So it's got to be drawn in line with the actual Kydex mold. And we use Kydex 100. It's the strongest grade of Kydex on the market. Our holsters are called Kybrids. We've got an outer and an inner shell of Kydex 100 molded, and we have a trade secret way of molding it so where it lays flat to the body, and then we also curve it. We add curvature to it so that it curves around the body. You can see here as it curves to go around the body, so it just kind of fits you like a glove. And then we mount it to a piece of grade A premium leather processed at Herman Oak over in Missouri. They're, as far as I'm concerned, the best leather processor in the country. And this leather is very high quality and also very expensive. So is the Kydex 100. It's for all intents and purposes 50% more expensive than regular Kydex. So I clip that there on my right hip. And then I also carry a K-bar TDI in our small knife sheath. And if you notice, I've got it angled forward so that the handle doesn't print and is up against my side. It rides right like that all day long. Also got adjustable retention. Also a hybrid, inner and outer shell of Kydex. And it has to be drawn in line with the sheath. It won't come out any other direction, which that's another piece of gear that I want to stay put. So I've got a piece of gear I can access with either hand, which is very important, you know, from a worst case, you know, hands-on altercation. You may only have one hand or the other free, so it's nice to have a tool on either hip that you can get to. Now, I'm small enough that I can reach across and grab it with my opposing hand. Same thing with my left hand. I can reach around behind me or in front of me, and I can draw my gun. But not everybody has that ability, and I respect that. That's why I recommend wearing something on each hip. So this is another piece of gear that I want to stay. Everything that's on my belt, I want it to stay put under violent motions. Okay? I want my tourniquet to stay put in case I need it. I want my spare mag to stay put in case I need it. I want it to be accessible with either hand in case I need to access it with either hand. So that's what goes on my belt. It's also nice too having something on each hip, having something comfortable on each hip, because I'm going to sit and lean against this stuff all day long, and I want it to be concealable too. So we have to remember that as well. So gear is has to do several things all at once. It's got to be comfortable, otherwise you're not going to wear it. You're going to wear it for a few hours and you say, oh my gosh, this thing's uncomfortable, I'm going to take it off. It's just, it's creating a hot spot, it's irritating me, it's making my skin raw, it's whatever, it bruises me, or I can't do what I need to do when I'm wearing this. You know, whatever gear you choose, you should be able to at least tolerate it in a full range of daily normal motions that you make. You know, if you're a mechanic, you got to be able to lay on it underneath a vehicle all day long, otherwise you're not going to wear it. One of our guys is a tow truck driver. His Glock handle is all scratched and marred up, and he carries it in a hybrid every single day. But guess what? He's out there on the side of the road dealing with lottie-dottie and everybody, and he's not going to be unarmed, and he's comfortable because he's got it in a hybrid made by Protec. Shameless plug. Okay, now moving on. This is, actually, let's finish the I want it to stay put category. This is my tactical light. I don't want to put it on my waistline. I could. Instead, I put it high and horizontal in my front left pocket, because I carry my gun on my right side. I want to be able to draw this and my gun, if I need to, one with each hand, respectively. Now, why don't I wear it down here like all the other gear queers do? Well, I'm not saying I'm gear queer, but hey, might as well throw that funny plug in there. I just like to be able to do whatever I need to do within reason. Okay? So, I wear this horizontally like that. Why? Several reasons. One, I like being able to grab it and rotate it and have it in my hand. So what I do is I pull it and I rotate it, and then I remove it the rest of the way off of my pocket. So I just pull it just enough to rotate it, and it comes off my pocket, right like this. Okay? So I pull it, and then I use the front edge of the pocket to rotate the flashlight into my hand. Somewhat intricate, but so is the draw stroke of a pistol. The only difference being I don't have a full grip on the light when I initially begin to remove it from my pocket. On the gun, I've got a full grip on the gun. I can do a thumb over, or I can drive my thumb in, because we cut our holsters to allow for either option. On the knife, same thing. I've got a full grip on this knife before I pull it out. And notice, we make these kind of tight because you want it to require a decent yank to get it out. You don't want it to be super loose in coming out of the sheath, because you definitely don't want it to fall out. If somebody grabs you by the waistline to tackle you or whatever, you don't want your knife to fall out for many reasons. So that's why I carry it up there. Also, it's less likely to be snagged when my shirt is over it. Stuff can rub against that and the light doesn't come out. I have lost lights and I've lost knives by clipping them here. Because as you're working and you're out and about, it'll get caught on a ledge or surface, and then boom, there goes your light. So this, I want it to stay put. So it's in the stay put category, so I put it up there. Now, I've also got one of these new Streamlight Wedge lights. Pretty cool light. A bit pricey, but you get what you pay for. It's 500 lumens and 1,000 lumens when it's on turbo. Very easy to use switch. I can use it with gloves on. It's rechargeable, got a nice heavy-duty clip, and it really works well for an administrative light. It's got plenty of light, and it's nice to hold in your hand, and it's flat. It rides like a pocket knife. It kind of sucks putting a tactical light down here because they're big and round and bulky, and you feel it all day long, and it's not very comfortable. This is flat like a pocket knife, and guess what? It clips right there, and it looks like a pocket knife. And when I need it, simply pull it out, and there it is. I use this thing all day, every day. Okay. All right. Let's see. Stay put category. My wallet. Well, my wallet has all my essentials in it, right? I use a Ridge wallet. I modified it and made Kydex 100 panels for it. We can make those for you on a custom basis if you want them. Just ship us your wallet, and we'll put them on there for you. Not really interested in doing that on a wide scale, but Kydex 100, really good stuff. So I carry this in a zipped pocket because I don't want it to fall out and I don't want to be pickpocketed. If this thing comes out, I want to know about it. So I put this in my front leg pocket on my True Spec 24/7 Expedition pants. That's Expedition, not the 24/7 by itself. You've got to have the 24/7 Expedition. The Expeditions have the cargo pockets on the front instead of on the sides of the legs. That is very, very important. That's crucial, okay? Because when they're on the sides and you sit and all my stuff's down here on the sides, it sags down below my leg. It's uncomfortable and I can't get to it. But when I'm sitting in my Jeep or in the truck, whatever, I need to get my wallet because I'm at the drive-thru, boom, got my wallet. I don't have to adjust the position of my body. I don't have to lift my butt cheek up to get my wallet out of my back pocket. I don't have to straighten my leg to get my wallet out of my normal front pocket. I can simply just unbutton, unzip, and I've got my wallet. Sometimes I carry business cards and a little card holder in that pocket too, but I'm out of business cards. I got to order more. Okay. All right. That's another thing that I want to stay put. Let's see. All right. Now we're going to move on to, okay, gloves. My gloves stay put. They're kind of essential. Your hands are your body's most intricate physical tools. Your fingers and your hands, and the health of your fingers and your hands is very important. If you punch somebody and break a knuckle, that finger is, for all intents and purposes, useless. If you slip with your knife and you cut a big gouge into your index finger, that finger is, for all intents and purposes, very hindered for the next several weeks as it heals. Or if you smash it with a hammer of some sort, or you nick it, or you bump it against something, or you scratch it when you're moving brush, or whatever, you cut it on something as you're picking up. There's lots and lots and lots of examples of damage that can be done easily to your hands that could have potentially been lessened or avoided if wearing a pair of gloves. Now, I like these ironclad gloves. They're a nice, just kind of low to mid-grade protection. I need to replace these. They've got a couple of holes forming in the fingers. I've been carrying these in my back pocket for a little while now. and I'll probably rotate them out for a newer pair and put these in the old glove pile. But what I do, I simply just take it and fold it in half. I lay the fingers flat. I fold it in half. I put the fingers against my butt and the back of the glove facing outward, and I just stick it in my back pocket. I put the left one in my left pocket and the right one in my right pocket. Little Maddie gave me a little kerchief, a little pink kerchief that she put "I love you, Daddy" on it and the date, and I keep that in that back right glove. And whenever I use that glove, I pull it out, stick it in my pocket. You got to defend your little princess's honor. So I have that with me at all times. If you want to see it, ask me. I'll show it to you. It's kind of cute. So I think that's most of the stay put stuff. And then the rest of the stuff, I would like for it to stay put, but it's not absolutely, totally mandatory. The first one is my multi-tool. I use this a lot. This is a Leatherman Free P4. It's a wonderful, wonderful multi-tool. One of the things I really like about it is that I can completely operate it with one hand. I can access all of the blades, all the different types of the blades, the scissors. I can deploy it, use it, and put it away all with one hand. The screwdrivers, same thing. Everything locks when it's in its open position, all the little tools. The clip is reversible for those of you that want to wear it. No, I take that back. It's not reversible. The clip stays where it is. It can also be used as a little hammer. It's got a nice flat surface there on the hinge for, a little hand hammer if you need to drive a nail, back into its hole or something very, very minute and minor. But I use this thing every day, and it's so handy. So I want it to be easily accessible, and I take the risk and I clip it here, knowing that it could get snagged, but it hasn't yet. It's got a nice robust clip on it, and that's where it rides. Next thing, I use that Palm pepper spray. I recommend if you get this, buy the little trainer that has the pressurized water in it, and get a couple of squirts with that trainer at 10 or 12 feet and kind of get used to how you're planning on holding it. Using your thumb or your index finger. I prefer thumb, right like that. And I just extend it straight out just like my gun, and I point it and press the button. This stuff I hear works very well. I've seen it in a few videos, and the responses are wonderful. This is just a nice way, just like a tactical light. It's a nice little distance tool that's less than lethal. But at the end of the day, these aren't my go-tos. If my life is in danger, I'm going to use my gun. Or I'm going to use my knife. Hopefully my gun, I don't want to get within arm's reach. I want to use a distance tool. But if I've got time and it's just a urinating contest and I feel the need to pull some sort of a tool out, I've got a light and I've got some mace, and that may be enough to diffuse the situation at a distance. But if I need to drop those and use other things, I can do that, no problem. Okay? So, have those things. I wouldn't recommend carrying the same canister for more than about a year. I've carried this one for a little while now, and you can see it's starting to wear a little bit. I would probably just invest in a new one every year. I don't think they're too terribly expensive. I think they're 20, 30 bucks, something like that. Palm does not sponsor me whatsoever. By the way, I buy everything that we have in this shop. I have paid at least something for it. Even products that folks send us and want us to review. I don't let anybody send us anything for free. I want to pay half or more for the product, so I can say I actually bought this with my money, so that it's not a totally paid review. That's just kind of my standard. If it's a product that I don't particularly want, no, I don't want to buy it full price, but I don't want you to give it to me either. So for you companies out there that may want a perspective of your product from me, just know that I'm going to review it for quite a long time myself and in our group before I put the review up. But it's going to be a detailed review, hopefully, that the community enjoys. So, next thing that I find really useful in a pinch is a piece of paracord. Now I have this on a quick release weave. I'm not going to demonstrate the weave today, but it's just a simple loop and pull weave like so, and I think I may have an old video of this on the channel from years ago, back when we were living down in South Carolina while I was working at FN. So you might look back in our older videos and see if you find that. But it's simply a loop and pull weave. I imagine if you look up the Cobra weave, this probably would be on the same website. Just type in maybe quick release, you know, paracord weave or something like that into Google, and there's probably a few videos of other guys demonstrating how to do this. But I have this. It's about 7 to 8 feet long of paracord, and it's useful for all kinds of stuff. If your belt breaks, you can put this on there. If your sling breaks, you can refasten it to your rifle with it. If you need to tie something down to your truck or your motorcycle or your four-wheeler, you can do that. If you need to lower something to somebody and you can't quite reach, you can do that. There's just the possibilities are limitless. If you need to tie two things together to extend your tool, make your tool pole longer, whatever, you can use this stuff. And it's got the strands on the inside. 8 feet, 1 8-foot strand, that's enough to make a fishing lure out of, a fishing line out of, and hook it to a bush, and you make a bush hook. I learned how to do that from my buddy Mike Hood down in South Carolina. You throw a hook on the end of it, you tie it to a tree branch, you throw something dead on it, and a catfish comes by an hour later and eats it, and there you got a catfish. Really simple. So I carry a piece of paracord on me. I don't like to particularly use that one unless I have to, because it takes 2, maybe 3 minutes to weave that up. But it's also a nice pastime. If you're sitting there twiddling your thumbs and you're stressed out, you can take that thing out, open it up, and reweave it. It's something to occupy your time. Okay, another little tool that I use quite regularly is this little Kershaw knife. If you know what this knife is, there it is. It's the Hinderer design. Hinderer design. It's nice. It's got a little bottle opener on it, but that's not why I have it. I did put a little Cobra weave handle on it, like that. I weaved it down, and then I weaved it back and forth and back and forth. A couple of stitches back and forth to fatten this area up, so that when I hold it, it kind of gives me a complete handle. You know, it keeps it from coming out of my hand. This knife is wonderful for lots of minor tasks. You know, if you got a little hangnail, like there's one right there, I just keep it super sharp, and there I shaved that little hangnail off. You know, you can keep your fingernails nice. Your spouse might really appreciate that one. Shameless plug. You know, you can peel fruit. You can do lots of things with your little baby knife. Now, I only use this for tasks that aren't going to make it dull. You know, if I need to lance something on my body or on somebody else's body to open it up, I'll do that. I'll disinfect it with my lighter, let it cool down, and I'll lance it, and we'll get a piece of shrapnel out, or you know, open up a pore, you know, whatever. I don't want to get too raunchy, or a little cyst or something. You need to squeeze the stuff out of it. You know, seek medical professional help with stuff like that. But if it's small and it's something you think you can do, that's a nice little tool for that, for minor things. You want to trim your cuticles, trim your fingernails, all kinds of stuff. Okay. Now, you've heard of the phrase 2 is 1, 1 is none. That's right. Two is 1, 1 is none. Little baby Bic lighters. For those of you that have started a fire without a lighter or a torch or anything that you press a button on and whoosh, a flame appears, you can really appreciate the concept of 2 is 1, 1 is none. Now, these are tiny little things. They don't take up hardly any space or any weight in your pocket, so why not carry 2 of them? Because these do fail eventually. These are, I think, some of the best lighters on the market. Bic has been around for a long time, and they just make good products. But I've started a fire with a bow drill. I've started a fire with a hand drill. I've started a fire with flint and steel. I've started a fire with just the steel, just the flint. A strike stick, you know, one of the big strike sticks. I've used different fire starting techniques for little survival kits just to try them out. I've made little fire starters. There's a video of those where I use 60% beeswax and 40% olive oil that my buddy Rob Zimmerman taught me from FN down in South Carolina. I hope you're doing well, Rob, if you see this video. And they're all great, but they all take a lot of time. This, really fast. I can light something really fast, as long as it'll burn, as long as whatever I'm lighting will burn. Boom, I've got instant flame. It takes hours to produce that when you have nothing but a knife, or let alone if you don't even have a knife. Like you have to make a bow drill or a hand drill, that takes hours, and you'll really wish that you had one of these. And sometimes you use it and you set it down and you let somebody borrow it and they don't come back with it, so 2 is 1, 1 is none. So in the morning, I make sure I've got 2 of these going into my pocket. I put these in my front right cargo pocket, mainly because the front right one doesn't have zippers like the front left one does. So I can leave that buttoned, I can sneak right past it, I can go in there and get what I want, and I put the flap over it when I'm done. And I've never had anything come out of that pocket when I didn't want it to. Okay? Next thing that goes in that pocket, chapstick. Chapstick's important. I use Burt's Bees, coconut, and pear. Really nice stuff. Nice scent to it, and keeps your lips nice and moist. Your spouse will appreciate that. All you chapped lip guys look like you got a bunch of sandpaper gnarly hanging off your lips. Ain't nobody want to kiss that. Put some chapstick on. Okay? Another thing, earplugs. I live on a shooting range. ProTech is a 40-acre shooting range, commercial shooting range. We've got about 1,500 members. I'm constantly going around everywhere, checking on the range, doing training workshops, doing range maintenance, shooting myself, shooting by myself, practicing, what have you. And you always run into somebody who's missing, a pair of earplugs, or maybe your ear pro fails, you need to stuff in, another pair. I keep extra earplugs in every vehicle, but it's nice to have some on your person. And I've used these several times. You're helping a buddy. You go help a buddy at his house, and he's like, hey, can you hold this board while I use the table saw, or while I use the angle grinder on this piece of steel, or whatever. You need some eye protection, you need some earplugs. Most folks have eye protection around, but not everybody has hearing protection around. And I like my ears. I don't know if you watched that video recently of that 3-gun competition, but my hearing protection fell out, and man, I was scared. My ears were ringing for 7-8 hours after that. It was brutal. I was honestly concerned that I maybe damaged my hearing, and you only got one shot at that. So a pair of 50-cent earplugs can really save your bacon. Next thing I carry is an Impromptu, a Gerber Impromptu tactical pen. I've been carrying this for years, and you can see it's the coating is polished off of it, and in a lot of areas from just writing in my pocket. I'm on like my 4th or 5th insert, the little pressurized ink insert that'll write anywhere and whatever. I just use it to write on paper. It does have a little nice glass breaker in it, and it's a machined aluminum housing. I think, no, that's not aluminum. Steel, machined steel housing. It's way too heavy for aluminum. And very effective tool, and you can take these and these in a lot of places, including on airplanes. So if you need to protect yourself, and have a tool to aid in that protection, tactical lights and tactical pens are a nice thing to have. Not necessary. Remember, the ultimate weapon is the mind. All else is supplemental, from our mentor, John Steinbeck. Look up that phrase. We used to put it on our business cards. Wonderful phrase. The ultimate weapon is the mind. All else is supplemental. Now, I carry this here in this pocket just because it's long and I don't want to clip it in one of these pockets. I've already got stuff clipped in these pockets, and when I want to get to it, I've got it right there. Okay, it's still fairly quick access, and it works. Next thing, I carry a Sharpie Marker. I use the one that's extreme fade resistance. Yes, they're more expensive, but there's a difference. There is a difference. When I mark on something, I want it to stay there for a long time. So I use the extreme fade resistant markers in my pocket. Now, around in the shop, I've got one of the 50-pack Sharpie boxes, and there's Sharpies all over the shop for marking other things. But the one I carry in my pocket is the fade resistant one, and it goes right next to my Impromptu pen. cell phone. Another thing I like about these pants is they have a very convenient cell phone pocket located right behind the front cargo pocket. It's just a wonderful, wonderful offering, and it's great for putting a decent sized cell phone in. And it just drops right in. I've never had it fall out. I used to ride motorcycles a lot, and I had a couple pairs of cargo shorts that had a pocket similar to that, but it was on the side and it would flap, and I lost 2 cell phones with those shorts. I love the shorts so much, but you know what? I threw them all away after losing that second cell phone because it's just not worth it. Thankfully, it was the old flip phones, and they were only, you know, $300-400 a piece instead of $1,000 a piece like smartphones are today. Sprite. There we go. So when I'm sitting in the truck or on the motorcycle or whatever, this stays here, and the pocket's kind of pulling down on it, kind of closing that pocket. But I can still force my finger in there and get it out. And then, last but not least, keys. You gotta have keys. Got my Tacoma keys, another little flashlight, and this one's like 10 lumens and 100 lumens, something like that, and it's rechargeable. It's the Olight IR2 EOS light, and like I say, it's rechargeable. It's got a little USB micro built into it, and it's just a twist on. Nice little light. And then a little keychain that Maddie and Max got me for Father's Day, and then house keys and what have you. So that's that. And then these are keys to other vehicles and other buildings and stuff here on the facility. Now, I don't carry one of the big solid rings. I carry one of these flexible cables. This is a steel braided cable with a coating on it, and then it's got a little pull tab, and you can open it up that easy and just slide your keys onto and off of it. And while it's in your pocket, it flexes around. I don't like those big gaudy rings because they don't give any, and if it's in the wrong orientation and I bend my leg, it kind of hurts. So I do that. I put both sets of my keys in this pocket. I don't put anything in this pocket other than the mace and the multi-tool, the palm spray and the multi-tool. I do notice one complaint I have about these pants is that when carrying a cell phone in the cell phone pocket, this front pocket goes below the bottom of the front pocket, goes down to about right here. Well, the top of the cell phone is above that. So when I do put something in this pocket, say I put this mace in there, now when I bend my leg, the cell phone is pushing down on whatever is in that pocket, and I can feel that pressure, and it's not very comfortable. So that's my one complaint to these pants. And I may very well just go over there to the Singer heavy-duty sewing machine and just sew the bottom of that pocket, put another seam on it 1 inch higher, so that I can use that pocket for stuff. There you go. You heard it. You heard the idea right as it came off the top of my head. Isn't that nice? Another nice thing about these pants is they've got these vents, these side vents in the legs. They're super nice. You open them up and it's mesh, you know, so bugs can't fly in, but air can. And let me tell you this, it makes a big difference in the summer months. And then in the winter months, when it starts to get drafty, just close them right up. It's also got vents down here in the bottom, same concept. I usually leave those closed though, because the mesh isn't nearly as tough as the ripstop material that the pants are made out of, and I just don't want to rip them up. So, and then of course they expand like most tactical pants do. They've got 2 layers here on the waist that expand like that, so you can fit your gear in and take it out, and your pants will still hug your waistline. They'll accept 1 3/4 inch belts if you want. I recommend the 1.5 inch belts sold by Core. We actually sell those belts now. We've just been selling them locally mostly. We don't have them on the website yet, but I'll do that eventually. But they have our full endorsement. I wish they could make them in the States, but you know, when it's a mass-produced object or product that has no individuality, no customization to it, it's just really hard for companies like Core to compete. They were the first, I believe. They came up with that concept. Many other companies have knocked it off. And if they made those belts in the country, instead of being a $70-ish belt, it'd be a $150 belt. And I get it. I get it. So I can't really knock them for that. Now, if they were custom belts, then yeah, they could buy the materials here in the States and make them in the States. Like our leather comes from the States. Our plastic comes from Kershaw Plastics here in the States. Our belt buckles even say "Made in USA" on the back of them. We buy most of our hardware from Springfield Leather Company or McMaster Car or those two places really. Holstersmith, we get some stuff from them. But I want to say 95+% of all of our stuff is made in the States, and I think that's a good goal to have. It's hard to do it 100%, and it's hard to know exactly where this little screw was made. Was it made in the States or was it made overseas? But the bigger ticket items, you can generally tell where they're made. But anyways, yeah, that's my EDC loadout. I typically have a pair of safety glasses on when I'm working. Eye protection is crucial. I almost lost an eyeball in this holster business, as a matter of fact. Back when I first started it, down at our house in Florida, we had a little 1.5. That was a one-car garage, and it had a little jut out on the side for the washer and the dryer and the central air unit. And we'd park the motorcycle in there, and then we had a bench in there, and then some benches along the walls. And that's where I had holster making equipment, and I would set up, and I would make a holster or two, and then I'd put everything away every night, and I have a place for everything. I like to have everything organized. Man, when I took these off one night, I had forgot I had left the edge burnishing tool still hooked up. I had taken these off and I hung them up on my thing, and I was tired. I took the edge burnishing tool off of its mount, and instead of bending down and picking up the cord and unplugging it from the extension cord, I just kind of stepped on the extension cord. I didn't give it a hard tug, I just gave it a tug, and the cord, the plug, popped out of the male plug attached to the tool, popped out of the extension cord. It didn't release slowly, it just released all at once, and it flew up, and the prongs hit me in the eye. And all I could see was white. And man, I remember feeling like such a fool for having been that careless and having taken my $3 pair of safety glasses off literally seconds before that happened. And you only get two eyes, just like you only get two ears, and some eye injuries we don't recover from. So I highly recommend having access to a pair of these. I try to keep them in all my vehicles. And I try to keep multiple pairs in there because 2 is 1, 1 is none. And I'm always a proponent of, checking and making sure everybody's got eye protection on the range. Because you can pull shrapnel out of skin. You can't pull it out of an eyeball, though, and really get away with it very well. So I think that's it. I don't have any more gear here on the table. Boots or shoes. I wear nice shoes. These are $160, $180 shoes from Echo. I've worn Merrells a lot in the past, but I find that the body of the shoe breaks down prematurely. So the nice Vibram sole lasts a decent while, but the body of the shoe, the stitches start coming undone, and the waterproof promise that they make it goes away within the first few months of wearing them, sometimes less. Unless you buy the $200, Merrells, and I usually buy the $150 Merrells, and they weren't working for me. But I remembered having a nice pair of Echo boots that I wore to a survival course out in Boulder, Colorado, at the Boss Outdoor Survival Center, or Outdoor Survival School, BOSS. You should look them up. Really cool program. I did the 7-day course. I forget how much it cost because my fraternity funded it. It was a national thing, and I applied, and I got in along with 20 other brothers from around the country, and we all went on this survival course together. And my Echo boots served me very well, and ever since then I've worn them every year for pheasant hunting season. I go pheasant hunting with my dad and other members of the family and friends, and it's a lot of fun. And so I'm going to give Echo a shot. So I found these hiking shoes from Echo, and they cover my ankle. I think that's very important to cover your ankle bone. They've got a wonderful sole to them, and I've got a lot of life left in this sole, and I've been wearing these for, shoot, well over a year. I'm going to have to look up the purchase date on them. I noticed just this morning the stitching on this side right here started coming undone. But these have lasted, I want to say, twice as long as the Merrells, and they're still waterproof. I was walking with my wife the other day in the park, and we were walking in the grass early in the morning when the dew was all over the grass. My shoes were soaked and my feet were dry, and her shoes were soaked and her feet were wet. So we're going to get her a pair of these too. I think before these get any worse, I might even take them to the local shoesmith guy and have him stitch them up for me, or I'll get one of my hooked needles out and try doing it myself. Yeah, and I'll probably buy another pair, and I'll put these in one of the vehicles, because it never hurts to have a good pair of hiking shoes and a good pair of socks, or 2 pairs of socks in your vehicle, in case you're wearing dress shoes that night and you're 50 miles from home, and boom, your vehicle's disabled and you can't get transportation home other than your feet. It's nice to have a pair of hiking shoes and some good socks that you can rotate as you hike. That mobility, the ability to provide mobility to yourself, is very crucial. So I think that's about it. My shirts, I wear a ProTech shirt every day. It's made by Sporttech. These are, yeah, Sporttech tags wearing out. But the shirts, shoot, I've been wearing these same, I think I got 8 shirts. I've been wearing these same shirts for over a year. I just wear the same rotation of these 8 shirts almost every day, and I do everything in them. I roll around on the ground, I go cut wood, I go ride trails, I train, I work on the vehicles, whatever I'm doing. They'll snag on stuff. They're tear resistant. They stretch a little bit. They're made of polypropylene, very lightweight. They've got this. I always forget the design of this shoulder, but it doesn't have that normal shoulder seam here. It's got a seam up here so that seam isn't irritating your shoulder. I like that, and I like being able to have full range of motion. They're moisture wicking, and they're just comfortable to wear during year round. Here in Indiana, we have all 4 seasons, and I wear them year round. And they're lightweight. They're not restrictive, easy to take off, easy to put on. They are form-fitting, though. If you've got a big nasty scar on your stomach, or you don't want to show off your amazing abs, or whatever the case may be, they might not be for you. But if you don't really care about people seeing the shape of your body, or if you take really good care of your body and you're nice and fit, then these shirts would be great for you. We sell them literally at our cost. I think this shirt costs right at like $19.50, something like that. And I pay $20 for them, and I sell them for $20. And I think it costs $1 extra per X. So like if you're an XL or a 2X, it's $1 or $2 extra dollars. But they're amazing shirts, and it's the exact same material type that Under Armour uses. It's just a different company, Sporttech. So, anyways, guys, that is my gear. Wedding ring. I used to wear a titanium wedding ring, but I got my finger caught one time, and it didn't hurt me, didn't pull it off, didn't do anything, but it made me think, man, I don't want to pull my finger off of my hand. So I got a Groove ring. It's a company called Groove, Groove. It's basically a lifetime warranted ring. It's one of those flexible rings, and I got that Kryptek Typhon black pattern. Really cool pattern, and it's what we have on our operator hats that I've been meaning to order more of for a long time and haven't done it yet. But I'm going to, I promise. But I wear that because now if I get it caught on something, it's going to break, and I'm going to call them up, and they're going to send me another one, lifetime warranty. It was like $45 to get the first one, but lifetime warranty. So as long as they're in business, I should be able to get another one from them. I just have to show them a picture of the broken one, or mail the broken one back, whichever it is. So, anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed the EDC pocket dump and all of the extra topics I covered in this video. And check out our other stuff if you'd like, we get comments from folks that really like our videos and just the different types of content that we produce. There's a subscription button on YouTube. If you would hit that and hit the notification button so you can more easily follow our new stuff. I've got a list, if I printed it out, it's probably this long, of different requests for reviews, gun reviews, gear reviews, all things of that nature. And if you've given us a product to review, don't worry, I haven't forgotten about you. We're just still using your product and still gathering more data and learning new cool things about it, and maybe a few complaints along the way, or I don't like that word, complaints, few observations or opportunities for improvement. And that's what we're all about here, you know. No one piece of gear is absolutely as good as it could ever be, and that's why we continue to strive to improve. And you know, next year there's probably things on my EDC loadout that I will have changed because I will have come upon something better or a better idea or whatever the case may be. So don't settle, you know. Don't settle for, well, I've got what I need and I'm never gonna look under any new rocks. Explore. I may find something that's better than this wedge, you know, and guess what? When I do, this will go in the cabinet, and whatever that new product is will go in my pocket. But for now, this is a great product and I really like it. So kind of have that mentality. I encourage you to have that mentality, and that'll help you to think outside the box and create new stuff. So, in speaking of new stuff, if you have an idea on anything that you would like for us to work on for you or with you, reach out to us and we'll do our best to make it happen. Anyways, guys, stay safe out there, and we'll see you next time. Sprite.